Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is that time to talk about our fat. Isn't that exciting? Listen, it was so amazing because today I was just interviewing a lady and it's just reassured me why I'm doing this class tonight. But I was talking to this lady, and she was just so upset how she could not lose any weight. She's tried fasting and starving herself and exercising. She has type 2 diabetes. She's had it for 20 years, and she's on insulin and some other medications. And she says no matter what she does, she can't lose weight. And she goes to her doctor, and it's a typical story, right? You go to your doctor, even if you don't have type 2 diabetes or whatever, you go to your doctor and you ask them, how do I lose weight? And the only thing they offer you is a fat burner or a medication, which do not take a fat loss medication. They are so harmful. In fact, I've done a class in here on Ozempic. Make sure you watch that class on Ozempic, you guys, because that fat loss drug has been causing so much damage to your internal organs. And they're just, there was a big trend, probably in the last year or two with people getting Ozempic and they're losing all this weight, especially the celebrities, and now they're learning, some of these celebrities have been on Ozempic for a year, almost 2 years, and now they're seeing the effects that that drug Ozempic has done on their health. And many of them, they've lost the weight, but they look really horrible. Their health is declining. They have lost all ability to digest food because Ozempic, you guys, what it does is it gives you stomach paralysis. So it actually slows the stomach emptying, and it causes long-term stomach paralysis. So when you go off the drug and you try to eat, your body doesn't know how to digest and push the food through. And you not only do you gain your weight back, but you have permanent damage. So anyway, off the topic. But my point is that if losing weight is not hard, but it is if you don't know what to do. And this is why I wanted to do this class tonight, because one of the main claims to my fame is helping women reverse diabetes, but helping them lose weight, even when they have diabetes. And so many women that I talk to, they're like, I've had diabetes and I can't lose weight and I can't. And like, do you know why? And they're like, well, no, I tried everything. And so I'd have the answer. I know how to do it. The the issue is it's never just one thing. You guys have heard me talk about this so many times, how anytime you have diabetes, or even if you are just obese or having issues with losing weight or your hormones, it's never just one thing that is causing the weight to not come off. Type 2 diabetes or prediabetes is absolutely one of the contributors to your inability to lose weight, but it is possible. I'm going to show you tonight. Every client that comes to work with me, that's the first thing that they say is like within the first couple of weeks, it's like, oh my gosh, not only do I feel better, but they're losing a lot of weight because, again, we're doing it the right way. So we're going to go over some of that tonight. I'm going to first give you a little bit of a background on what doctors are telling you is the problem, because you're going to be like, oh, yep, I've heard that, or my doctor said that, or I've tried that. And these are all contributors, but they're not the reasons why. I mean, they're part the reasons why, but there's a bigger picture here. There's a main contributor that I'm going to reveal tonight. And so you guys are lucky you are here. So again, I have been studying nutrition for over 25 years. So when you go to your doctor, right, and your doctor says that, they don't know how to help you with losing weight, or here's another drug to lower your blood sugars, here's another drug to lose weight, they have not studied nutrition. Diabetes and weight loss is a nutritional disease. High blood sugars, it is a nutritional disease. And you always start there. You start with nutrition. But doctors don't get any training in nutrition. They don't. In 8 years of med school, they get one day, half a day of nutrition training. And so I've been studying this for over 25 years and I still am learning. I'm still figuring, it's very women's bodies are complex, especially if you have diabetes, and there's so many different types of physiology in women's bodies. So you really need to have somebody that understands this stuff. And when doctors tell you that the only way you're going to be able to reverse your diabetes is with metformin, or you're not going to ever be able to reverse your diabetes, that's really the answer they always tell you. You're never going to be able to reverse your diabetes. Or you're not, if you're going to lose weight, here's a weight loss drug, and this is the only way you're going to be able to lose weight is if you take this drug. That's just wrong because again, they don't have the training in creating balance. Your body needs to be balanced. If you're overweight and you can't lose weight, it's because your body's not balanced. Our bodies are designed to not be obese. Our bodies are designed not to be overweight. So if you are, it's a symptom of something being out of balance. That's it. And so when doctors are saying these things and making your body worse by recommending drugs and fad diets and keto, I mean, there's a time and place for keto. But if you're a type 2 diabetic, you do not want to start with keto because that's just going to make your insulin resistance worse. Do doctors tell you that? No, they don't tell you that. So when we're looking at women's weight loss, okay, if you have been a victim of losing weight, gaining, losing weight, gaining, losing weight, gaining, you have not discovered the underlying root cause of your issue. Okay. Once you lose the weight, you should be able to fairly easily keep it off. I mean, it should stay off if you know what caused the weight gain in the first place. And here's some of the things that they're going to blame it on. Okay. One of the things they're going to blame it on is blood sugars. So you're going to go to a doctor and they're going to say, oh, you're overweight because your blood sugars are high. Well, yeah, it's part of it, but it's not all of it. They're also going to tell you that, oh, your food choices, you need to eat real food and you shouldn't have processed food, or they don't even tell you that. They don't even know that. They just say it's your quit eating junk food, which is again a part of it, but it's not all of it. They're also going to say, oh, you need to sleep. Again, if you don't sleep, that's a part of it, but it's not all of it. If they say you have insulin resistance, yes. But why do you have insulin resistance? I promise you, you ask your doctor. You go ask your doctor next time you see him or her. You ask them what causes insulin resistance. They will not know. Second question is, how do you reverse insulin resistance? They will not know. Third question is, ask them if they will check for insulin resistance, and they don't. They will check you for diabetes through an A1C blood test, but they never check for insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is, if you're diabetic, you always have insulin resistance. If you're diabetic, they go hand in hand. But what a lot of women have is insulin resistance, and they don't have diabetes. Insulin resistance is the precursor to diabetes. And I had insulin resistance. It's very common to have insulin resistance when you're going through perimenopause and menopause because of things that contribute to imbalances in the body, our daily exposures, our stress in life. So I had insulin resistance. I didn't know it until I learned and all of that. But insulin resistance sucks. I've never been a diabetic, but I had insulin resistance. When I had insulin resistance, you guys, I gained 30 pounds in 2 months, 2 to 3 months. In fact, I have a really amazing story about that whole thing, and someday I'll share it with you. But the short story is when I gained all this weight, I knew something was wrong. I'm like, what is happening? I'm working out, I'm eating right. You don't gain 30 pounds in 2 to 3 months, right? By everything I was doing. Well, it ended up that I had insulin resistance, and then that turned into adrenal fatigue. And so a lot of women have insulin resistance / adrenal fatigue, and they can't lose weight, and they're gaining weight, and they're just like, they don't know why. And the drugs make the insulin resistance and the adrenal fatigue worse. You might lose a little weight, but that's because your body's forced into lowering your calories. But metabolically, it's really bad for you long term. So ask your doctor those three questions. They will not know. And this is why majority of women are so disappointed in their doctors, because they have no answers for them except drugs. Another thing that you will hear around the internet is that, oh, chronic stress, if you're stressed, it raises cortisol, raises blood sugar, it raises insulin, it blocks fat burning. All true, all true. However, that's just a piece of it. Okay. All these things contribute to being overweight and not being able to lose weight, but it's not the only thing. Listen, our bodies are designed, our adrenals are our stress organ. So our bodies are designed to be able to handle a little stress. But what happens is over time, years and years of being a mom or having a babies or having a stressful job or raising kids, having, being unemployed or going through a divorce or going through a death in the family, whatever it is, when you have chronic stress for years and years and years and years and years, thing after thing, stress after stress, it takes a toll on your body, right? So that chronic stress over time will break the body down, and that's when you get the adrenal fatigue. That's what it is. That's what how I got adrenal fatigue was chronic years of stress. And I did a class a few weeks back on the kinds of stress. You guys should go listen to that because most people think that stress is just emotional stress, like I've had a bad day or I'm stressed at work or I had a death in the family, which is all very true. All that's very, it's stress in the body. But there's also internal stress. And internal stress, our contributors are diabetes, infections, chronic pain. Like, listen, you guys, if you have chronic pain in your body, your back hurts or your legs hurt or you have neuropathy, all of that, if you have chronic pain, your body is stressed. And that chronic stress, there's the internal stress and then there's the mind stress, right? So there's different kinds of stress in the body, and that over time will break down your body's ability to lose weight because it's creating imbalance. So when you hear stress is a part of the problem, yes, but do you know what kind of stress you have that's contributing? And how long have you had the stress? And what can you do about it? That's the big things. Like, what can you do about it? And all of these things you have to take into consideration, but you have to work on them all together or individually. It's never just one thing. Another thing you're going to hear is that it's your thyroid. Oh my gosh, this is this is a huge one. Doctors are so quick to assume that your thyroid is the blame, when in actuality, it's the choices that are affecting your thyroid. It's the toxins that are affecting your thyroid, and your thyroid is being blamed for something that's not its fault. Okay, so I see women who go to the doctor because they can't lose weight or they're in perimenopause or they have fatigue, and the doctor will do thyroid labs, and they're like, oh, their labs, they're kind of normal, but why don't you try a thyroid medication? Listen, it's the wrong advice. And if your thyroid is suppressed, it's due to external or internal things going on that's affecting the thyroid. Your thyroid can be fixed without medication. In fact, once you go on thyroid medication, it makes it way harder to fix it. And once you're on thyroid medication for a few months to a year, you can never get off of it because what happens, the thyroid medication starts to affect your thyroid from actually producing the thyroid hormones itself. You have T3 and T4 in your thyroid, and when you take those medications, your thyroid basically gets lazy and says, hey, you're taking it externally, so I don't need to produce it anymore. So thyroid medication, I'm telling you, and then once you're on it, it never works as good as your natural hormones. Your natural hormones work the best. And the other thing I'll bring up real quick, and I don't mean to go off on tangents, but this is just where my head goes because I just get so irritated with the advice you guys are getting. But HRT, hormone replacement therapy, HRT. You go to your doctor, and the first thing they want to prescribe is HRT and thyroid medications, and all this. And it's like our bodies, our hormones are designed to be work for us, right? As we age, as we have ovarian decline, your adrenals pick up the slack. So if your adrenals are in good shape, meaning that they're not chronically overworked, your adrenals will pick up the slack for what your ovaries are not producing anymore. So this is why when I had adrenal fatigue, I felt like I was going through perimenopause. But I was young. I shouldn't have been going through perimenopause at the time, but I was having symptoms of perimenopause because my adrenals were trashed. My adrenal hormones were just so tanked. My cortisol was really bad, and I felt so fatigued, and that's why I was, gaining weight. And so when I went to a doctor, I flew all the way out to Texas to go to this hormone specialist. And that's all she told me was that, oh, well, maybe you're depressed and maybe, maybe you're too thin and you need to gain a little weight. And she's like, well, you are getting to be that age. And I was like, in my early 30s. No, you don't gain 30 pounds in 3 months if you're in your 30s. And because you have, you need HRT or you need thyroid medication. Oh, by the way, she wanted to put me on the pill and she wanted to put me on HRT and she wanted to put me on thyroid. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. Because I was in my early career of learning nutrition and all of this. And I just didn't want to put all that in my body. So long story short is I'm not a big fan of HRT because I think if you take care of your adrenals, even in perimenopause and menopause, like I've gone through menopause and I have not had symptoms of menopause because I learned how to fix my adrenals back when I had adrenal fatigue. So my adrenals are producing testosterone, progesterone, estrogen enough to keep me feeling amazing. So chronic fatigue syndrome, a lot of times chronic fatigue syndrome, the term CFS is really adrenal fatigue. But doctors don't know adrenal fatigue. They don't know because there's no drug for adrenal fatigue. There's natural supplements, there's lifestyle changes that you have to do to fix it. And it took me a long time to fix my adrenal fatigue. It did. It wasn't like an overnight thing. But once I knew what it was, I was able to wrap my hand around it and be like, okay, cool. And then, of course, I felt better. The weight came off and I learned about all of that. So the point is that your doctors are quick to want to put you on thyroid medication. And my advice is don't don't do that until you understand, until you learn. Don't just worship your doctor like they know everything. Like 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 learn this stuff first and understand how to get your thyroid levels back in balance without medication because there's always a natural way to do it. So thyroid is to blame a lot, and I know a lot of you are probably already on thyroid medication, and that's affecting your metabolism. It's affecting how you lose weight, and it is what it is. But there are, again, once you understand it, there are things that you can do to combat that and do that. But here is the real reason why you cannot lose weight is because you have cellular toxicity. It's stored in your bile, it's stored in your fat cells. The bile isn't flowing properly. You can't eliminate, and it reassimilates. Also, when you have toxins in your body, it impairs your fat burning, it interrupts your hormones, which is another reason why thyroid, sometimes the levels of your thyroid, when you do a blood test, become out of range because you have hormone disruption due to toxins. It raises inflammation in your body. Toxins enter the fat cells, they expand, and it burdens the liver. And these toxins contribute not only to weight gain, but they contribute to not being able to lose weight, and they contribute to not being able to reverse your diabetes. If you don't understand toxic overload, if you don't understand cellular toxicity, which you don't, because how would you? You're not educated in this. You're not, you know, um, you wouldn't. But I'm saying your doctor doesn't know about this stuff. And if you have cellular toxicity, which you all do, because cellular toxicity, not only do you get from what you eat, what you get from putting in, but you get it from foods you eat, you get it from the air you breathe, and you get it from the things you put on your skin. You contract it through many different things in your life. You can get it from if you traveled and you have go overseas or you go on a vacation, you can pick up different toxins and parasites and different chemicals in foods or in the air or things that so you're exposed to it all the time. So here's the deal. Our bodies are designed to be able to detox. But when you have type 2 diabetes or diabetes, any type, pre-diabetes, type 2 or type 1, whatever kind of diabetes you have, and you have diabetes plus you have a toxic overload, unless you understand how to reduce your toxic load, unless you understand how to identify your toxic exposure and start removing and eliminating that, you will be stuck with trying to do quick fixes to lose weight. You cannot lose weight unless you understand your toxic load and your cellular inflammation. It's not possible. This is why my clients, when they come to work with me, they lose weight instantly because we do this in the right way. We find the upstream sources, we get them on the right protocol for them. We understand why they have inflammation. We understand why they've gained the weight. We understand kind of what's going on. We do a full assessment. We understand that stuff. And they lose weight so quickly. And a lot of the initial weight is that toxic inflammation weight that's causing fatigue and bloating. And it's just making you feel miserable. That toxic weight stays in you if you don't have the right process to help you. So the, you can lose weight very quickly if you understand this. So again, when you are toxic, your toxic body is screaming for help. And we have natural detox pathways in our body. And when you have type 2 diabetes, when you have prediabetes, when you're overweight, when you don't understand what your exposures are, these pathways get overloaded and they don't detox properly. So we have to figure out first, we have to figure out what are your exposures. Then we have to start eliminating the exposures and then decreasing the inflammation through nutrition, lifestyle, doing some blood work to see what's happening with the thyroid. And the big one, which is the last one, is we have to get you off of medications. These medications are not only contributing to your toxicity, but they are also eliminate making it impossible for you to lose weight. Doctors are not telling you this. Medications that you're on are causing nutritional imbalances. When you have nutritional imbalances, you can't absorb nutrients. When you can't absorb nutrients, your detox pathways and your fat burning hormones and all the natural processes that your bodies are designed to do, which is to be able to lose weight and digest food and all of the things, it it blocks it. It causes imbalance in the body. So I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, well, my doctor for diabetes, they give me, metformin and insulin, and my blood sugars do go down. Okay, listen to me. Of course they go down. I was just talking to a lady today. I was just talking to her today, and she's like, I can't lose weight no matter what I do. I'm on all this insulin. My A1C is 7%. And I said, well, what are the doctors telling you to do? And they're like, just give me more insulin and tell me to watch my diet. And I'm like, okay, so how long have you been on insulin? A few years. And she can't lose weight no matter how she tries because insulin is blocking your fat burning ability. And also the toxic load from other medications that she's on is also contributing. It's not just the insulin, it's contributing the medications because what the medications are doing, here's what the medications are doing. If you have type 2 diabetes or diabetes, listen to this because you have to understand this. When your blood sugars are high, very dangerous for your blood sugars to be high, right? Can you all agree with that? Very dangerous. You guys know that. Blood sugars even in 130, 140, 150, 160, and 200s are just too high. Dangerous. Toxic level blood sugar levels are anything over 160. Not good. So what happens is what the doctors do is they see your high blood sugar and they're like, okay, they give you medicine. So the medicine, here's what the medicine does. Let's just take insulin, for example. Insulin, you inject insulin, it's going to take the blood glucose, the sugar in the blood, it's going to take it, the insulin's going to attach it to the blood sugar, and it's going to force the sugar into your tissues and your organs, organs, right? Kidneys, liver, muscles, all the fat cells. And so what it's doing, what the medications are doing is hiding the blood sugar in the blood and it's pushing it into the tissues. And the blood sugar is so harmful to the tissues, which is why you get heart disease, heart attacks, your arteries get inflammation and corroded. You have heart attacks. This is why your eyes go bad because the blood sugar gets to the soft tissues of the eyes. That's why you get neuropathy, right? So when their only solution, which it is, their only solution is to put you on medication, they're not helping you. They're hiding the sugar in the blood. So they want to get your levels down. And they still never get as low as they should. The lady today, when I was talking to her, with insulin, her blood sugars are still in the high hundreds. I'm like, they're not even working. Your blood sugar should not be over 100. It should be between 80 and 90 on a given day. After you eat, they go up and then they come right down. So the medications are so toxic because they're not solving they're pushing the sugar that is toxic, and the sugar is like shards of glass in your body, and that sugar becomes like your blood becomes thick and sticky, and the sugar particles become sharp like glass, and then the blood flows through the veins and they scrape the veins and the arteries, which is why you get plaquing. Goes through the veins and your legs and affects nerves, which is why you get neuropathy. Goes to the eyes is what you get damage in your eyes, and you end up getting cataracts and all of your blindness eventually. So the chronic high blood sugars over time is what's causing all the really bad symptoms of diabetes, which is, eventually infections and maybe amputation and all that. So when you're pumping your body with medications and insulin, you're not going to be able to lose weight because again, it's the medications are so toxic. And the reason why Ozempic works, because some of you will say, well, Ozempic works. I'm like, okay, yes, it does. Because you know what Ozempic does? Is Ozempic slows your stomach down from digesting the food. So it makes you less hungry, and it's basically like appetite suppressant. So now not only are you not eating a lot, but now when you do eat, it's forcing your body not to digest food fast. So it's very slow. And that's terrible because the slower it runs through your organs, your small intestine and your colon, the slower it goes through. Now you're looking at the toxins being stored in the colon and start to get some buildup there. And what's the number one form of colon cancer? It's toxic colon. So all Ozempic is doing is it's slowing down. It's reducing your appetite and it's slowing down your stomach's ability to digest food. It's horrible. This is why women lose so much weight really fast because they're not eating and their stomach is not, absorbing the food very well at all. And then when they go off the Ozempic, they feel bad, crappy, because when they try to eat normally, their stomach's damaged. And then they gain their weight back because the only thing they can eat now is sugary foods because you don't need a lot of digestion for crappy food. And so they eat the crappy food and they gain all their weight back. And then they don't have a stomach that works. So I'm telling you, you guys, you have to know this stuff. And there's no quick fix. The solution to losing weight is understanding your imbalance and then understanding how to put all of this together to be able to do it in the right way. I'm telling you, losing weight is not hard. It's just knowing what you need to do. And then when you start doing it and understand it, then it no longer becomes hard. It becomes a process. It's like, okay, I know what to do now, so I'm going to keep doing it. So back to the medications, I just want to show you here. I have this chart is in the Facebook group there. If you go under the documents, you'll see this. I posted this in there. But this is just an example of some of the drugs, the name brand of the drug, what they do, and the nutrients that depletes it. When you're nutrient depleted, you're getting so many imbalances and your body will not work right. It's similar to putting gas in your car, right? If you're not putting gas in your car or you're not putting the right type of gas in your car, your car is not going to run efficiently. Same thing with nutrients, right? If you don't put fuel in your body, you're not going to feel well. It's going to start to break down, right? Well, medications block the absorption so even if you are eating right, so I have a lot of people that come to me and like, I'm eating right, I'm eating salads, I'm doing all the right things, but I can't lose weight. Well, and then I ask them, what drugs are you on? Are you on a statin? Are you on an antidepressant? Are you on a proton pump inhibitor? Are you on antacid medications? What do you want? And they'll list them. And I'm like, well, that's why, these drugs that you're on are causing inflammation in the body. They're also depleting you of nutrients and your body can't run on an empty tank. And then if you're not absorbing anything because of the medications you're on, or if you're not on medications and but you're taking insulin or you have type 2 diabetes, you won't be absorbing nutrition because your insulin's high because you have diabetes and your blood sugars are high. Because your blood sugars are high, nothing works right. So if you're nutrient deficient, you're going to have symptoms, and that is definitely a sign of being toxic also because toxicity will also cause your body not to absorb nutrition. So like I said at the beginning, it's never just one thing, you guys. Okay, you have inflammation in your body, you have hormone imbalances due to many different things, due to stress, due to medications that you're on. If you're inactive, and listen, a lot of you are inactive because you don't feel good. You don't want to go exercise and walk. I get it. But we need the exercise, but we got to get you feeling good first. If you don't eat right, if you aren't on any sort of a high quality supplement, if you're on medications, all these things are impacting your ability to lose weight. So when you get this fixed, this is the good news. When you get this fixed, it's like, woohoo! It's amazing because your medical doctor is in charge of these things, your prescription, your drugs, your labs, and thank God, listen to me, thank God for doctors if you get into a car accident or if you need surgery. They're amazing at surgery and trauma care. I am not, there's no complaint here when it comes to trauma care. But listen, if you go to a doctor to try to lose weight, or if you go to a doctor because you have diabetes and you want them to help you, they have no idea how to help you. In eight years of med school, they get 1 day of nutrition. And most diseases are due to your body being imbalanced, and they don't know how to help. They don't know how to help you determine what the imbalance is. What they do is they do lab work, they read your labs, and they look at the labs, and they don't even ask you very many questions. They look at the labs, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you have this symptom, and this lab is a little bit out of range. Okay, here's the medication. That's what they're trained to do. They're never going to find the imbalance. Medications don't heal. Medications don't reverse. Medications put a band-aid on a symptom. So yeah, although medication might work short term, it's always doing more damage in the long run. I'm so against medications, and that's the first things my clients say when they come work with me. It's like they're like, get me off these medications. I hear you talk about this all the time. And you're never going to feel optimal if you're on medications. You want your own innate intelligence and your own body to be able to manage your hormones and manage your appetite and manage your blood sugars and your hormones. I mean, your own innate intelligence will do what it's designed to do if you give it what it needs. The thing is, you guys don't know what it needs, and it's not your fault, and your doctors don't know. But you have to learn this stuff, which is why this group is here, and which is why I'm here. I'm here to help you. But it is complicated. I mean, like I said, I've been studying this for 25 years, and it is complicated. But once you learn it and understand it, then it doesn't feel complicated. This lady today, I was talking to her, she had tried, I wish I would have written down everything she's tried. She's tried at least 2 dozen things between supplements and medications and diabetes educators and nutritionists and doctors and programs and keto diet and, what are the fat loss programs and fat loss medication. She tried everything. Yet she can't lose weight. And if she does, short term, she gains it right back. And most women want to live a vibrant life. They don't want to get worse as they age. As I age, I don't want to get worse. As I age, I don't believe I don't believe we should get worse. I don't believe that we should age with feeling worse and being on more medications. Every time my mom goes to the doctor, her doctor always says, well, you're 80 years old. It's very normal that you're on medications. She's on one, but I've been trying to get her off of that one, but it's been a little challenging. But anyway, but she used to be on 4 or 5 or 6, and her doctor always says, well, Paula, my mom's name is Paula. She goes, well, Paula, you are 70 years old, 75 years old. It's normal to be on medications. No, it's not. It's not normal to be on medication. No, if you take care of your body and you know how to do this, you don't need medication. You can use your body's own innate intelligence can run itself if you give it what it needs. You're responsible. You have to be the one that understands this to give your body what it needs. And that's where a lot of you are confused and where you don't understand. And it's not your fault. There's so much misinformation on the internet, and there's so much misinformation. You can't Google how to lose weight and expect Google or AI to give you a customized plan for you. Your AI doesn't know your blood lab. AI can't talk to you. AI doesn't know your history. You can't do that. You need somebody that can actually look at things with you and give you things to try and understand what your imbalance is. And then we don't just stop there. We have to figure out, okay, now that we understand kind of where your imbalance is, we got to get you off the medications. We have to customize a protocol for you. Then we have to lower your inflammation, and we have to get you feeling good so that you can start, being able to absorb your nutrition. Because when you eat now, if you're a type 2 diabetic, you're not even absorbing nutrition. Most of you aren't absorbing nutrition. So you're so nutrient depleted, which is why you feel like crap and which is why you can't lose weight. And your toxic overload is so high and you're depleted. No wonder. I just empathize with you guys because I understand what it feels like not to feel good. So I'm here to tell you that it is possible. I'm going to show you here a clip of somebody here who has done exactly what I'm sharing with you. But what we do in the academy is we customize your protocol. We give you a customized nutrition. I help you reduce your inflammation. We talk if you need certain supplements, we talk about that, but it's not the priority at first because we don't want you on a bunch of supplements if your body's not even absorbing them. And then we do a lot of different types of life coaching in there to help you really get through the challenging times of the weight loss journey. Listen, you guys all know this. I know you do because every one of you in this group has been on a diet, probably. I don't want to assume, but I'm assuming every one of you has been on a diet. You've lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, or you're in the position where you're at a certain weight and you can't get it off. You've tried, you just don't know what to do, and you're frustrated, and it affects your self-esteem. This poor lady today, I had tears in my eyes because her self-esteem, because she doesn't feel good. She doesn't feel like she looks good in her clothes. She looks in the mirror and she hates herself. She can't stand going out in public. That is no way to live. That is suffering. That is a suffering lifestyle, not a quality lifestyle. And I'm here to tell you, you guys, listen, it is possible to feel vibrant and healthier, and it's possible to lose weight. It's possible to reverse your diabetes, but you have to be the one that does something about it. You have to be the one to make the decision to do something about it. And you have an opportunity here to come work with me. That isn't your opportunity. And what's it worth to you? Is it worth it to you to invest in yourself in order for you to finally rid this problem that you've had for 5, 10, 15, 20 years? If I could tell you that in 4 months, you could lose between 20 and 35 pounds, what would that be worth it to you? If I could tell you that within 4 to 5 months, we could get your A1C down by 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 5 points. If I could tell you within a year, you could reverse your diabetes, what does that mean to you? If I could tell you that you could lose 60, 70, 85, 80, 90, 100 pounds in a year, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? So you have to start understanding and applying some of these things I'm teaching you, but some of you just need to take the next step. You need to just be like, okay, I'm admitting I can't do it on my own. A lot of you, and I see this all the time, a lot of you have tried for years to do this on your own, and you're getting the wrong advice. You're trying to do it yourself. You're trying to piecemeal, and you're spending thousands of dollars trying to solve this problem when you could do it one time with me and be done with it. But some of you over the years have spent thousands and thousands, thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're still in the same place you were, probably worse than you were when you back 5, 10 years ago. That is not, I don't want that for you. So I want to share a story with you. This gal's name, her name is Vicky. I don't know if she's on tonight. She might be actually on the call. Maybe she is. If she is on, I want you guys to comment. As you're watching this story of Vicky, I want you to encourage her. I want you to comment. I want you to, because this is amazing. Vicky came to me 4 months ago, extremely frustrated. She couldn't lose weight. Her doctor just kept giving her medications. She was like, I can't lose weight. My blood sugars have been in the high hundreds. I've never seen them below 100. And she was frustrated. And with Vicky, we had to look at her imbalances. She was very skeptical, as most women are. But I told her, I'm like, listen, trust the process. She watched a video similar to this with somebody else, and she was like, okay. I think you're the real deal. I think I trust you. But anyway, her blood sugars were in the high hundreds. In 4 months, she lost 35 pounds, 15.5 inches. She's off 2 of her diabetes medications. And this is only 4 months. Her blood sugars, we have gotten them down to as low as 63. Look at the difference. And this is in 4 months, you guys. Her top 3 goals when she started was to lose weight, get off meds, and healthier for her daughter. Her fatigue was so bad. I'm going to let you listen to her interview. I'm going to play that next. And I just want you to hear how this is possible for you. And we're going to end with this tonight. I want this to inspire you. I want this to um, help you understand that you're not alone. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling just like you have no hope, I want you to listen to Vicky's story. It's amazing, you guys. And then after this, come find me and let's work on this together. Well, hello, everybody. I am so thrilled to introduce you to Vicky. Vicky has such an amazing story that I want her to share with you. She just started her health journey only 4 months ago, and wait till you see her results. I'm going to bring Vicky on. Vicky, hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I'm feeling good.
Girl, before we get to how you're feeling now, I want you to share with the audience. Like, first, let's go back to why in the world you wanted to even start a health program. Like, what was going on with you? What were you feeling like? What was going on?
Terrible, horrible, like crap. Basically, in summary, I just was so weak. I live in a third floor condo. I had trouble just going across the hallway practically. I'd lean over the couch and take breaks. I was supposed to start work at 6 in the morning and we have an hour leeway. Well, my 6 ended up being like 7. Then it got to where it was 8 o'clock. I just could not get up.
Mm-hmm.
My supervisor busted me on that. So she said, "Do you want to change your time?" I said, "Sure." So I made it 7. I just couldn't get up. I had no energy. I tried eating right with salads, some protein and kind of watching what I was doing, but I just didn't want to be on meds. I knew I'd get worse.
Yeah.
And then Terry came on, and I thought, well, she deals with women. And I said, we got our own issues, our own hormones. And so I listened to her, and I just wanted to get off meds. I needed to lose a lot of weight. At my age, I'm 62.
Oh, you're 62. You don't look 62. So there you go.
You.
Well, okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to where you were diagnosed with diabetes, right? And how long have you had diabetes?
I'm going to say probably like close to 20 years now.
Yeah, 20
and
years.
I was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. Yeah.
Yeah. When you went to your doctor, what were they offering you for solutions?
Oh, your favorite cocktail, the metformin. I'm not on insulin. Metformin, the blood pressure's up, my cholesterol's up, and yep. The old
So
cocktail
they were wanting you on a cholesterol or a statin. They were wanting you on metformin. Did they offer you any sort of diabetes educator meetings or anything?
I think he said, well, check with your insurance and they might have a nutritional consult or diabetes, but I didn't do it.
So what was it for you that finally you drew the line for you saying like, I just got to do something? What was it?
That was basically it. I just felt horrible. I had no energy. And if I went out, I'd have to keep stopping. I just felt that I was afraid. I was afraid I was going to have a heart attack from just no activity. And part of it came from after I had 2 knee replacements in 2022. And I just had no energy, and I had to do something. This is my last chance. I have to do something. And then
your quality of life was pretty bad, right?
Yes, it was. And my daughter and I would go to like theme parks like Universal or Busch Gardens or SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, and I'd have to stop every once in a while. And Florida's hot, but still, I just had no energy, and I felt bad for my daughter. I said, "Why don't you go off by yourself, and I'll meet you like in an hour?" And she's like, "No, I'm okay." And it was horrible. I just had no quality of life, and I kept up with my Walmart Plus because I couldn't go up and downstairs with my knee replacements, and I just kind of kept that. So I almost made every excuse not to go down the stairs and up the stairs. And
yeah. So had you tried anything? Like had you tried certain diets or I mean, you didn't try medications. You said you were against doing that.
I don't really want to do pills. No. I did do one that each time they go out of business, it was called National Quick Weight Loss. Then it was Results. Then it was Quick Weight Loss. It was one of those like high protein, low fat, low carbs, which really did work. But I, like a lot of people, went back to my old habits, put it on even more. And I just got to the point where I got to do something. I feel horrible. I can't do anything. I want to be around for my daughter. She's got some issues, and I'm killing myself. And it was kind of like, this is my last chance, 62. I got to do something now while I still can have some activity and move. And I did.
And good for you, girl, because seriously, I just, I know with all the I don't want to say scams, but there are scams out there, right? I know with all the
Oh yeah.
scams out there, women like yourselves are they're more skeptical than ever. And so fast forward to today, you decided we met, I always meet with people before they even decide to work with me because it's an interview both ways. You're interviewing me and I'm
Hmm.
interviewing you. And do you remember what I asked you in our meeting about, do you remember what I asked you? One of the things I asked you about
No.
if you were to work with me, if you
Coachable.
would be a success story. Remember
Oh,
that?
success. Okay, well now I do.
Yeah.
It's just, I
I
got so much in
asked you
my
that.
brain
I
here.
asked you in our interview, I said, so Vicky, because this is how I can tell if women are serious. I said, I, my women who join the academy, they are success stories. And I want you to be a success story. Do you think you will be a success story? Do you remember what you said?
No, because I don't remember the
Okay.
question.
Oh yeah, okay. You said I want to be a success story, and then I asked you what would you think would prevent you from not being a success story? What do you think would have prevented you from not being a success story?
Just going back to bad habits, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, yeah,
Is that what I said?
yeah. Okay, so
But
before we talk about kind of like the how if you thought it was difficult or not, because most people that I talk to after they've gotten such great results like you, they look back and they're like, it really wasn't that hard. So we'll talk about that. But let's first, before we do that, I want to show this graphic because you did this in only 4 months. Look at this graphic. And here's the other thing I wanted to mention is when you started, I asked you when we met what your blood sugars were, and you told me they were in the mid hundreds, right?
yeah, like mid
Yeah.
to
And
the lower mid
now, I
hundreds.
mean, let's look at this. I mean, this is amazing, Vicky. And look at you can just see your face and how much weight you've lost.
Oh
35
wow.
pounds, 35.5
Oh
pounds,
yeah.
15, almost 16 inches down off two of your medications. And you've had your blood sugars as low as 63. When is the last time that you were able to get your blood sugars and know how to do it under 100?
I don't know, and that's part of the thing. I had to switch doctors due to personal reasons, and the new doctor, she would just keep renewing my prescription. So I never really went. They said, "Okay, you need to go get this done, get this blood check."
Right.
But they never chased after me, so it kind of freaked me out when I.
Anytime we have to face the reality. And this is
Mhm.
what I help you guys do is like, because a lot of women just are like you, they're afraid to even face the reality because they haven't gotten any help from their doctors. They know what they want. You didn't want to go on medications. You wanted to get better, but you had no clue how, no idea how.
No,
The only thing that was offered to you is going to your doctor and them offering you medications and scaring you, right?
yeah, it
So
was scary because
fast,
I never, nobody ever kept up with me to make sure I went. I'm not going to renew your prescription unless you go have your
yeah,
A1C
yeah,
or
yeah,
something done. Nope, they just kept renewing them, and so it really
yeah.
kind of scared me after hearing about all the issues you can have. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to. I got to get off these
Right.
meds. I got to do something.
Right. And you're off your
Get
diabetes
worse.
medications. You're off, you've down 35 pounds. You're a different person than you were just 4 months ago. Yeah.
Oh
I mean, you
yes,
feel better.
definitely.
Tell us,
Oh gosh.
tell us the difference in how you feel.
Well, compared to my story that I just told you about how I had no energy, no nothing,
You do it.
the fat.
But you started and your blood sugars were in the hundreds. You were super fatigued. You were 35
mm,
pounds heavier, 16 inches, bigger. So you must be proud. You must feel amazing.
I do. And what I started to say is after I came off the fast, I still felt weak because obviously I hadn't eaten, but I went ahead and got the 90-day essentials that you recommended for me after I filled out that health plan. And it was just even like 2 days that I just felt different. I felt better. I didn't have to stop at the couch. And so it's been what, like 3 weeks since we came off that fast. I mean, I have so much energy. This a couple of times I've actually had my alarm go off, and actually I thought, all right, I'm just gonna snooze one time, and I actually felt good getting out of bed.
Right. Yeah.
I'm out there walking more. I signed up with Crunch because it just had a special to
Yeah.
join for free enrollment, and so I'm doing some upper arm because I'm weak in the upper
Yeah.
arms, and I just have more energy. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the way I used to be, and I don't take little naps on my breaks and lunches anymore. I just go on the computer and play around or something
I
like
mean,
that on my
that's
breaks
huge,
or lunches.
Vicky. That's huge.
Oh my God, it is. It is. I
Yeah.
feel like it's like, oh my gosh. I'm 100% new person. I dyed my hair. Not that everybody saw me really before, but I dyed my hair. I got it cut a little bit, but I'm gonna have it shaped at the hairdresser on Wednesday. I'm starting to feel good. It's hard for me to kind of see a little bit. And I think my fat is kind of like all pushing forward. It's pulling from the back, and that's why the
Listen, the
belly's there.
scale and pictures don't lie.
Oh, I don't.
This is a
I
part of the
know.
block. This is one of the block, and we've talked about this in our coaching session, but
I
this is
know.
part of the
Yeah.
block. When you do such an amazing job like you've done, you're in your brain, you're still thinking old Vicky. You're still thinking, you know, you're visually looking at you and thinking old Vicky, but the scale and the inches and that
You're right.
doesn't lie. And so
That's true.
that's a mindset thing that we're working on with you because listen, if we don't if you don't start to believe the results that the hard work that you've done, believe the results that you're getting, that's not going to be good because you'll want to
Right.
go back to your old habits. And that's part of the thing that we teach is how to make this a long-term successful life. So you'll never
Well,
go back.
one thing I do notice that when I'm laying down to go sleep on my back, and I can like touch my sides and roll my hands over to my belly, I can feel I'm flat. Where before I used to be a little mound, you know. So I can definitely feel it when I'm laying down. So,
Yeah.
and it just
Well,
it just makes
are
me
you
feel good.
proud? I mean, are you proud of your accomplishment? I want to hear what you say.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I am proud of myself. I got one more blood pressure. I have blood pressure medicine to go, but I think a lot of it's still weight and just
Mhm.
exerting myself because I didn't have any energy, and so now I'm trying to work myself up and get some toning and muscles. And
Looking back, what would you say was the aha moment, or what would you say was something that you learned that you're like, oh my gosh, this is, I've never heard this before.
hey, to be honest, I like to occasionally drink. Sometimes I sit home by myself because I'm by myself. And when I'm just reading the webinars to kind of pass the time, I guess you can say, because you can't suddenly just start the next day and do something. Is that the alcohol disrupts your digestion or your fat absorbing or your
Fat
metabolism,
burning,
whatever.
fat
Thank
burning.
you. But yeah, it was just, oh gosh, there's no carbs in it. I thought I'd still like burn fat or something like that. So that's something I'm like, oh, and just
Right.
getting the English version of the how your diabetes is with the pancreas and gallbladder and the liver. It was in English. And you
Yeah.
were such a good teacher and you were very entertaining too. She makes it fun.
But doesn't it make sense when you understand, like when you understand the why? Like when you really
Mm,
understand the why, it makes it easier to make better decisions instead of
right.
what your doctor says, oh, try this quick fix or try this. And they don't really
Yeah.
explain it. So you're just like, you don't know
No.
what you're doing. But when you really
Yeah.
understand the truth behind like the alcohol, the truth behind certain foods and the chemicals and the toxins, and you know what it's doing,
Hmm.
and then you start changing that and you start like you feeling better. Nothing tastes as good as as good feeling good feels. I mean, you've proven
Oh
that,
yeah. I know, and each month is going to get easier because that scale will keep going down, and I'll start to
right?
actually really see it with my own eyes versus
Right.
pictures, and
Right.
yeah, I can't wait. I guess.
I know. And the fact that you're on your way to reversing your diabetes, I'm 100% convinced that you probably already have when we do your labs here in another month. I bet your A1C will be under 5.7.
Well, I
I'm
know you said because I didn't order any more CGMs because they were free from
right.
work, and
The daily blood sugars, again, it's the A1C that is the diagnosing diabetes, right? And your blood
mm,
sugars will fluctuate every single day. I've taught you this, but based on the protocol and based on how fast the blood sugars come down. So you can't live with your blood sugars in the 50s and 60s every single day. That's not the point. The point is
I know.
fixing the blood sugar management component of how your body regulates and manages blood sugar. That's the part that we're fixing. So your A1C, I'm 100% convinced you will have reversed your diabetes probably in the next month or two. And wait till that day happens. No more CGM and amazing, huh?
Well, I was just doing it because I just wanted to see
Right.
also, because which
Okay.
actually was a way I could check my blood sugar since I didn't
Yeah.
poke my finger. If I felt weird, I would poke it. And I'm like, okay, 115. Well, it's not low blood sugar.
So
But
so
one thing,
if you could give if somebody is watching this and because yeah, and women, you're going to be a huge inspiration to somebody watching. And if you could speak to somebody watching this today and give them kind of the nudge to do something about their health and to take that step to do this work, what would you tell them? What would be your advice?
I'd say it's an investment like anything else you invest money in. I've done weight loss plans, and of course, they cost money. Then you get the protein packets. It does cost, but you need to really weigh your odds. I've done those weight loss plans, but it was more of a quick fix, I guess you can say. Where here I'm actually learning how to eat, how to read labels. I knew that, but I got more in depth with that. The bad foods, like, but if you feel like crap and to have no energy and you're on your diabetes medications and you're who knows what else they got you on, take the time, invest in it, because it really works. It does. Give it a shot. And talk
Yeah.
to Terry.
Well, listen, Vicky, this again, I'm going to show this graphic. This is amazing. And I want you to really look at this. This is what you have done in
Okay.
such a short period of time. And when we first started together, I always ask you your top goals. So if you look over here on the right, you said your top three goals were to lose weight. You've done that. Get off meds. You've done that. And be healthier for your daughter. Do you feel like you're healthier for your
Yeah.
daughter?
Yes, I have energy, so at least we can, just I don't have to stop all the time. But I feel 100% better. I feel like a new person, and I know I'm just going to get better,
Yeah, I'm proud
more
of you,
energy.
Vicky. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of
So
myself
good.
too.
Yeah, yeah. And I know, we still have, some work to do, but like I always tell anybody who works with me and even myself, is like our health journey never ends. As far as I'm concerned, I will always be pursuing better health. As I age, they always say, as you age, you're not, you're not going to feel as good. All this, I just don't believe that. I think we should not. Disease shouldn't get worse as we age. We should not get worse as we age. So I'm a
Mhm.
constant, I practice what I preach and I teach you guys what I learn. And I want to reverse aging. I want to age in reverse,
Yeah, me too. I don't want to grow
right?
old. I can't believe it. I can't
Well,
believe I'm
it's
as
like,
old as I am. I'm like, there's
I
no
mean,
way.
think about most people like our age, right? They're gaining weight all the time. They feel like crap, just like what you were feeling just 4 months ago. And so you're on your way to living a brand new life. It's amazing.
And my daughter and I were just at the mall the other day. I'm like, I'm definitely not going to look like that. I mean, these women are huge, and I'm like, I probably are, in their eyes, but I'm like, I can't. No, 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 no.
Well, I'm proud of you, Vicky. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know you'll be an inspiration to somebody else who is in your situation. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and
You're so welcome.
congratulations.
Join, girls, join.
Congratulations, Vicky.
Thank you.